All right. Governor's got to work on the speech, but he'll take a couple.
Okay. It's not done yet?
It's done. Come on. I was a student. You don't start till the night before. This is, Governor, that's how I used to write term papers anyway.
So, some of your critics, there's a few, that note that Hillary's downfall really began with the whole driver's license issue and somehow tying it into you. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure what they mean by Hillary's downfall. I think she is one of the really 2 or 3 leading candidates for the Democratic nomination for the presidency, and that's a pretty compelling position to be in, with certainly an uncertain result in that race, and that's democracy, and so she's doing famously, and obviously we'll wait and see what the results are tonight. And then, as I said yesterday, if Iowa was the first pitch in the first inning, this is maybe the bottom of the first inning, but there are many innings to go, so I do not in any way accept the premise of the question. The other thing I would point out is that last time I checked, Barack Obama fully supported the position I had taken on the driver's license issue. I think that was what the transcript reflected in the second debate, where the issue was framed more squarely on that issue. So I don't see any of the linkage that was being suggested there. More importantly, I think this is an ongoing presidential debate that will continue, and I think we on the Democratic side have spectacular candidates, and what we have seen is an outpouring of emotion, goodwill, very little of the negative campaigning that seems to have overtaken the other side a little bit, but I think it's a campaign that is moving forward at a good pace.
Are you surprised how well he's doing?
I think what we are happy to see is the excitement among the general public for all the candidates. And again, just reading the papers this morning, the sense I got was that all of the candidates, certainly on the Democratic side, were encountering big audiences, big crowds, enthusiasm, a sense that they, whatever might be seen as marginal differences among them, capture the sense of where this nation is supposed to go on not only fundamental issues of leadership, but particular policy issues of healthcare and economic growth. So I feel very, very affirmative about how the Democratic Party will do and where the public is heading, regardless of party affiliation, in terms of the desire for some sense of unified leadership on tough issues that we need to address, and where people are tired of petty bickering.
So you don't see any, sorry, getting too late, you don't see any connection between Senator Clinton's dip in the polls and the situation where she is now and her stumbling on questions?
No, none whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Do you think that there's any, has the Bush administration hurt Clinton at all, because the public seemed to be so interested in an anti-establishment candidate, and she has been sort of pegged as the establishment candidate?
Look, I'm not going to.
Even if it's a different party.
You know, one of the things I've noticed is that you know, folks begin to do autopsies on bodies that are alive, and I'm not sure I buy into that. It seems to me we are in the middle of a campaign where Hillary Clinton is doing great. She has an enormous reservoir of support and will continue to have that support, and this will continue as a dynamic debate. We don't know what's going to happen tonight, and tomorrow is another day with most of the vast majority of the delegates still to be allocated in states where Hillary is going to mount an aggressive campaign. And as I said, the wonderful thing as a Democrat is to see candidates who are so articulate, so forceful, evoking such emotion. As a citizen, first and foremost, the most important thing is to see the outpouring of participation in democracy with a healthy debate. How can you not enjoy seeing this process go forward? One more question, then I got to start writing a statement.
Can you talk about the wisdom of privatizing the New York State lottery?
I could, but I won't.
What about the Mohawk?
Some other time.
What about the Mohawk?
One last.
What about the Mohawk?
Let me just. I'll answer that.
Preview for the tomorrow's State of the State.
Sure. Obviously, this is an important speech that will lay out an agenda for next year that will focus first and foremost on economic growth. We are facing choppy waters as we look out at the national landscape economically, but we have enormous demands here in the state. Enormous obligations to invest in education and healthcare and infrastructure. Jobs is what we are focusing on, and that is what we are going to have a conversation about, I and the legislature, as we try to craft together an agenda for the next couple months and years. And so we have much to do, but I think it will be an affirmative speech that people will appreciate and share. I hope they will share the values that are embedded in that speech, and we'll go forward. In terms of your question just about the Monticello, disappointed, obviously. It was an application for a casino at the Monticello Raceway that had bipartisan support, that had been lingering on Secretary Kempthorne's desk for quite some time. So I'm disappointed at the result. We will now step back and figure out how we can continue to inject capital and jobs and economic revitalization into the Catskills and see what the next step is. I think that this was a decision that I will say I think it's flawed on the law, in the sense that he seems to be coming out with determination that no off-reservation casinos will be permitted based upon, not an arbitrary, well, if I were litigating I might call it arbitrary, but based upon an interpretation of the statute that I disagree with. We believe that there was significant support for that investment. It would have generated thousands of jobs, and we will go back and figure it out. I've always had the view, you do your best. If it doesn't work, keep moving forward, figure out a new strategy. That's what we'll do.
What about a statewide casino referendum? Taking it out of...
As I said, there are a lot of ways to approach this one. For the first year of my gubernatorial tenure, obviously we worked with existing, to a certain extent I could say, deals that had been structured, that were in the pipeline, to see if we could bring them to fruition. We'll continue to see if that is the best way to move forward. And but everything will be evaluated, and we'll see what we can do. Okay, guys, I gotta go right.
Kevin, is that a lucky shirt?
No, did you notice it's torn?
Yeah,
you
got a hole in your shirt, Governor.
I didn't notice that when I got dressed, but I'm going to take it this way later.
Elliot, Elliot.
We were told